The issue of a single reserve currency, particularly the dominance of the US dollar, is a significant topic in global economics and international finance. A reserve currency is a currency held in large quantities by central banks and financial institutions worldwide, and it is commonly used in international trade and finance. The US dollar has been the dominant global reserve currency since the end of World War II, and it is used in approximately 60% of global foreign exchange reserves today. The advantages of a single reserve currency, specifically US dollar dominance, include stability and liquidity. The US dollar provides a stable and liquid currency for international trade and finance. Countries and businesses can rely on the US dollar for transactions, reducing exchange rate risks and ensuring easy access to a widely accepted medium of exchange. Additionally, lower transaction costs are a benefit since many commodities and goods are priced in US dollars, allowing countries engaged in global trade to avoid frequent currency conversions, which streamlines cross-border trade. The dollar's status also provides the United States with economic power, including seigniorage, which allows the US to print its own currency and use it globally, enabling it to run persistent trade deficits while borrowing cheaply from foreign countries. Furthermore, the US can exert influence over global financial institutions and systems, such as the IMF, World Bank, and SWIFT network, which often operate in USD. During global financial crises or periods of uncertainty, the US dollar is often viewed as a safe haven asset, with investors flocking to US assets, increasing demand for dollars and providing stability in times of crisis. However, there are challenges and risks associated with relying on a single reserve currency. The global dependency on the US economy ties the stability of the global financial system to the economic performance of the US. If the US faces a financial crisis or issues such as high inflation, large fiscal deficits, or political instability, the entire global economy can be affected. This was particularly evident during the 2008 global financial crisis, where US financial institutions' issues had far-reaching impacts. Exchange rate volatility is another concern, for countries whose currencies are pegged to the US dollar or rely heavily on dollar-denominated assets. Fluctuations in the dollar's value can have significant economic consequences. A sharp depreciation of the dollar can lead to inflationary pressures in countries that import goods priced in dollars. Geopolitical risks also arise, as the US government can use the dollar's dominance for political purposes, including imposing sanctions on countries by limiting their access to the US dollar system. This has been effective in cases like Iran and Russia, but it can cause tensions and drive other nations to seek alternatives. Additionally, the extensive printing of dollars to finance US government deficits could undermine confidence in the dollar's long-term value, leading countries to diversify their reserves away from the USD. Efforts to move away from a single reserve currency have been observed, with several nations and global institutions showing interest in reducing dependency on the US dollar. The euro was established as the second-largest global reserve currency, but internal economic challenges and political fragmentation have limited its ability to fully challenge the US dollar's dominance. China has been seeking to internationalize the yuan, promoting its use in trade and as a reserve currency, but capital controls and its political structure still limit the yuan's widespread use. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum are emerging as alternatives, though they remain volatile and not yet universally accepted. Some countries have entered into bilateral trade agreements to settle transactions in their own currencies, bypassing the dollar. Countries like Russia and China have been increasing their gold reserves as part of a strategy to reduce dependence on the US dollar. While the US dollar remains the dominant global reserve currency, its position faces challenges from geopolitical shifts, the rise of other currencies, and the development of new technologies. Transitioning to a new global reserve currency system would require significant global coordination, and any shift away from the dollar would likely be gradual. For countries heavily reliant on the dollar, diversification of reserves and the exploration of alternatives could provide a buffer against risks tied to the USD's volatility and the political leverage the US holds through the global dollar system. But for now, the US dollar continues to hold a central role in the global economy, with limited immediate prospects for a dramatic shift.